All right, I want to talk to you guys about how much money you can make in the bounce house business. Now, I've seen tons of videos, and I've even seen videos where people are breaking down every single weekend and how much money they have the potential to make every weekend. And those videos are great, and I am not taken away from anyone else that is in this business. More power to you. What I want to do is something that is a little bit different. It is a little bit more outside looking in, or blown up to the point to where you're seeing over a period of time. You're not just looking at something that may be a weekend event, or a stroke of good luck, or a stroke of bad luck, or something like that. I want you to see how the business progresses over years. So I'm going to open the books. I'm going to let you guys look into to the number of stuff that the amount of rentals that I had, the amount of money that has been generated, and these numbers may be skewed a little bit. They may be off a little bit, just depending on what was going on, because some of them were recorded during the time of transition of event rental software, so it may be a little different, but it'll give you a good example. Get really, really close and show you where the money's at, and what we're doing. Now, I am in the South. I am in Georgia, so we have about a 9 month season. And I want to go over with you, how our season looks. This is in 2016. Now, I want to tell you guys, 2016 was a very, very different time, and you will see what happens, as we progress. But it was a very different time for the event rental business. The prices were a lot lower. The customer base was a little bit smaller. Everything just seemed a little bit different. And you'll get the picture once I kind of go through everything. So with January 1 to December 31st of 2016, January nothing. February we had a little bit, and as you could see, it kind of moves up. This is the amount of sales in each month that we were doing. Again, May, June, July were our good months, and a fairly decent year. Now during this time we did a total of 491 rentals, and it looks like we made $109,500 in revenue over the time. The good thing about it, this was something that we were doing, my family was doing, and we were doing it kind of small. There wasn't a whole lot of employees or anything like that, so it's a good kind of in-house family kind of income. I was also working. My wife was working. This was an extra income for us. So, and again, these numbers do not reflect how much money you're putting in your pocket. This is the total amount of money. There are expenses that came out of that. Again, we try to bring between 50 and 30% down to profit. That doesn't always work, but it's a good kind of a rough estimate of what you can try to shoot for. You can try to make those numbers work in your favor. So let's go to 2017 and see a little bit different. Now the numbers started going up. We started having more months over the 20,000 mark, and even the other months started filling in. January, you see that there was some business there. Things started heading in the other direction. Remember, we did some 600 rentals or whatever. Now we went up to 883 rentals with $124,646 in revenue. So good year, moving up, and it was good. We were expanding our inventory. Everything was looking good. As we get into 18. Again, more. Now we're above the 30,000 mark on several months, and we're 1,370 rentals for the year. We're up over 200,000 in revenue. Again, it is moving in the positive direction. We're going where we need to go. Everything is looking good, and the numbers are smooth and reflective of the month. We can plan because we know what's coming. It's very, very good. 2019, do you guys remember what happened in 2019? And it was the start of COVID. But our numbers kind of reflected a weird situation. Again, we tanked in the beginning of the year. The numbers are shooting way up through the roof because we were offering that. We went up to 1,400 rentals and 240,000 in revenue. Huge amount pushing in the right direction. And like I said, some really good months. in the summertime, October. Now, I want you guys to remember it gets lean in these. I call it nine. We have a 9 month season. It gets lean in these months. Okay, really, really lean. So that's something that you need to look forward, and you need to kind of, plan for that kind of stuff, so you know. And we'll keep going. 2020 again. This is when the COVID. This is when the COVID hit, and they were telling everybody we needed to stay away from it. And it was scary. It was really, really super scary. But then again, like we said, we went to the customers and we told them that we were going to do home parties and we were going to disinfect, and we actively showed them that we were disinfecting. We had disinfectant machines that we were doing in there. We had no contact delivery where we were setting things up. They were paying with everything online. They were doing signing their contract online, and watching us disinfect it. We would send them a picture and a video and everything, so it worked in our advantage. And again, the numbers skyrocketed. Because we were able to pivot when the situation hit. We were able to make the difference, and make that turn, and give the customer what they needed. When we get into 2021, again, things customers are used to what we're offering. They're used to doing things at home, and the money is flowing. There's COVID dollars involved. Where people are receiving money, and they're spending it. And again, our numbers go up, to the point where we're literally doing over 2,000 rentals in the year. Amazing, amazing year where you're pushing some serious numbers. Again, watch out for those lean months because they can hurt. Especially, if you're doing this in 1 month, and you're doing that number is more than the four lowest months combined. You have to budget your money. You have to be able to spread out. Now, with this comes a lot more expenses because we're paying employees, we're maintenance and trucks and units and everything kind of exponentially goes up. So don't think that the cost remained the same. It didn't. It kept going, up through the roof. But we had some good years, and the business grew really, really well. 2022, amazing year, off a little bit from 2021. And again, a lot of that was customers moving back, going back to work, things like that, things falling into, the way that they were, COVID money running out, those kind of things. But it's still better than we had ever done before, in the years prior. So the numbers were really, really good. And we were happy with it. A couple of things happened that kind of fell in our favor. And you guys, if you've been in the business for a few years, you saw the COVID spike with the prices on units. The prices on units went through the roof, and even the sales were crazy. And what we were doing, we had bought early before COVID hit. Back in 2019, we had bought a large amount of equipment because we were planning on doing some expansion and opening some new branches and the whole 9 yards. And we got them for a good price. And luckily, the numbers, kind of went crazy. We did not expand. What we did was we brought those units in house, and we literally had to stock our warehouse with the equipment because we had so much going out. But it made a situation where in the later years we couldn't get pieces. We couldn't get pieces for a decent price, so we just didn't buy. And we went, a year. Normally we buy a few pieces a year and just kind of restock, but we went a couple years without buying because we had bought a large amount right before COVID hit. So we we pulled the trigger. It wasn't anything that we intended to do or anything like that. It just kind of happened, and it worked out in our favor. So there you go. Let me show you last year. Last year was scary, because we really came off of the numbers last year. We went down hard, but the analysis was not that we came down. The analysis was that we were still higher than we were pre-COVID, and that all those numbers that happened during the COVID years were COVID induced numbers. People staying home, people having extra money to spend on home entertainment, those kind of things that worked in our advantage. Once COVID ended, people didn't want to do it at home. They wanted to go out to the park and they wanted to be and they wanted to do. So last year, again, after 2019 was great. I mean, it compared to 2019 was great, but compared to 2021, 2022, way off on the numbers. And it was hard for me to grasp the concept that we were literally just doing the COVID bump. And so now I have come to terms with that and I understand what it is, and that's where it's at. I'm not going to show you this year because we're just now getting into the season hard. But I will tell you this: the numbers are up this year compared to last year, so we are back on the trajectory that we needed to be on. I will show you. What did we do? 16, 30. Okay. I will show you over the years where the numbers were and how they have progressed. These are the COVID years, and this was last year. And again, if you compare last year to 2019, you see that when we're out of COVID and into normalcy, it's not as bad. In fact, we were up. We were up for the year, and it was actually a good year. One thing that I have noticed that I want you guys to kind of look at, and this is strange, I don't understand it. I'm a pattern guy. I notice patterns, and I try to work those patterns into my business. And this kind of goes back a few years before this, but if you'll look, we have a spike and then a downward slope. And then the next year we have what I call the two towers in the middle. So spike, two towers, spike, two towers, spike, two towers. But look what happened this year. We did the spike, but last year we had an almost mirror image of the year before. We didn't have the towers. I just thought that was weird, and I don't know what caused it. I don't know what causes this, whether it has something to do with leap year or the way the holidays fall, or anything can happen. Easter can fall in a certain month and bring your numbers up, or tons of different things. But I just thought that was kind of neat, and it was something to look at. Pretty cool. Over that time period, 12,000 rentals we've done and over 2 million in revenue. So good stretch, good times. And I want you guys to focus on the fact that looking at something for an instant can get you in trouble. Looking for something for one weekend or 1 month or even 1 year can get you in trouble, because as you can see, our numbers are up in normalcy, but are down from these years right here where it was abnormal. So if I just looked at this and said, "Oh," then all of a sudden it's terrible. What's going on? The numbers are crazy. They're way off. What are we going to do? But in reality, we're up. We're way up. All right, let me show you guys a couple of different things. On a specific thing, I want to talk about units, specific units, and how an investment in a unit can make you, a certain amount of money. All right, we're going to start with one of my oldest pieces, a crayon combo. Good piece, heavy piece. Dry piece. This I actually got this probably 12, 14 years ago. It's been a long time. And it's a dry piece, so it does not go out in the summer at all. Um, and its rentals are reflective of that, because it's literally, you know, 10 years old, 12 years old, something like that, and you're only looking at 135 rentals. Now, but the most important thing that I want to show you guys is uh, how much revenue that it has generated. Um, so net sales, this is your gross sales minus your discounts on it. We've done $26,000. Now, I know that we paid less than $2,000 for this unit way back then. So the investment of $2,000 has made us, well over 26,000. Super good piece as far as that, because of the longevity. I don't like that it is dry, but it was well made, and it lasted a lot of years. So yeah, good piece. Um, Let me see. Let's add this one in here. This is a Castle combo, much newer. Uh, Nowhere near uh, as many years on it, and look at the amount of rentals, 290 rentals over the 135, and the amount of money that it is has netted. Um, Super good investment. Okay, so when you're talking about something that you're paying $2,000 to $3,000 for, and you're making 60,000 off of, and again, these are that your expenses are your expenses. This is not the money that you're putting in your pocket. So don't think that this is the amount of money that you're going to put in your pocket. This literally is, the amount of money that this particular item has generated that goes into expenses. So after the discount on the gross, $60,000 for again a piece that was probably $2,000. Amazing investment. Some of my older, and you'll see I'm going to skip over some stuff simply because they were either middle tier or low end, and I'm going to go over some low end stuff that hasn't generated a whole lot of money to show you the difference. Um, but I just wanted to kind of show you these things. Okay, so 270 rentals on a bounce house, Castle bounce house, $30,000 that we have made. Again, this is a really old piece. This is probably 10 or 12 years. But there are certain pieces, especially dry pieces, that you will get, m- you know, longevity out of, and you can generate these kind of revenue. This piece is nowhere near as old and has made more just because it's a more flexible piece. It's wet dry. It's a combo. It has a slide and a bounce area, so you can see picking the right piece for your investment is going to make a difference. You need to make sure you're picking the right piece because although $26,000 is good, 60,000 is much better for the same amount of money that I had spent. So, kind of keep that in mind. All right. Uh, let's look at a dunk tank. Dunk tank's gone out 142 times. It's made $20,000. You can get a dunk tank for 3, 4 grand. Um, so again, solid investment. You're making the kind of money. But again, this is something you're not going to use in winter. This is something that you're not going to. It's really based on you're not going to do a whole lot of home parties. There are some setup issues with it. There, you have to tow it and all the other stuff that takes up a lot of room. Um, Good piece, but it's something that's I call a filler piece. It's not something that is, a staple. So again, just showing you the kind of stuff that you can make good money off of. Um, I got a couple more castle bounces just because I want to show you guys that, you can make, um, well over 200 rentals on each one of them. 20 and $30,000. Um, Solid investment for something that you're paying $20,000, $1,500 for. Solid investment. A bounce house. They fit in small yards. They have longevity because they're not wet. Picking the right one though is important. I want to show you something. Let me show you something really quick. Uh, let's see. Um, there it is. Justice League. Amazing bounce. Don't get me wrong, an amazing bounce, but it's not doing near as many rentals because it's a themed unit. And again, it's made me my money back, and I'm very happy with the amount of money. And it's this one's got a lot of life left in it. It's super good, and it's a piece that you need once you have 5 or 6 bounce houses. Then you can start getting into themed units and do things like that. Um, so picking the right unit to make you the right kind of money is what you want to do. And these units are multicolored, they are non-themed, they are um, kind of middle of the road stuff. It's nothing too. crazy on one way or the other, and they just are machines. They make money. They are out there doing it. My pink castle would be the only thing that I would say um, makes a difference in that it's pink, and again it holds its own against it, and it's literally most of the time going out for girl parties. Not to say they can't go out for anything else, but you know what I'm talking about. It goes out mainly for girls because that's just the way that it's kind of been put together. So um, yeah, I mean it holds its own with these. And literally the only difference is the colors. So as far as theming, if you're gonna theme, first step is to small step into different colors, theme the colors, not theme the unit. All right, let's look at some more stuff. I do chairs. I don't do chairs. I don't do a lot of chairs. I don't do hundreds of chairs. I don't do tents and 100 chairs or whatever. I do 12 chairs at a party. But I want to show you guys just kind of off the top of the head what you can make off of chairs. I have put 3,000 chairs out, and again, I am not in the chair business. I think I figured it out, and I paid a total of $500 for all of my chairs because I've cycled through some that were damaged, and I've got brand new ones and everything. But $500 worth of chairs has generated me over $6,000 worth of income. That is solid. You can go all in on chairs and be the big guy and do that. And I won't tell anybody no. Um, I didn't, but I do recommend that everybody has at least a dozen or 20. I have 2 dozen chairs so that I can do a couple different little parties, and I've got like 6 tables. So I put it together in packages, and that's what I do. It's a good filler uh, for us, but you again you can go all in. Um, 10 by 10 tents. I can buy a 10 by 10 tent for less than $100 and I rent it for $25. And as you can see, 98 rentals at that, $25, and I'm making a decent amount of money. I probably have bought 10 of them, so again, probably $700 worth of investment has brought me $2,000. It is not my thing. It's not what I'm out there to do, but it is a good filler piece, and it makes for a party, and people will pay $25 for something that they can normally buy at a store for $75. They'll pay it just to save the money. So 16 dual lane slide. It's been a really good slide for us. 149 rentals. I want you guys to notice this. The amount of revenue that these bring in matches the top bounce house rentals with a lot fewer rentals simply because it's more per rental. You're charging more per rental, so you're making more money. Think about that. If you can handle a piece that's a little bit bigger that you can charge a little bit more for, you're going to make more money off of it. I have 2 of these. I actually have 3 now. I bought another one. And both of them, as you can see, pretty close to the same thing, and they're making good money. And you compare it to a bounce house, they're doing really well. Even the combos other than my castle combo, because that one just kind of really goes. All right, a couple little things. Let's go big slides. I want to show you this. This is really cool, and it goes right into that thing. This slide is a few years old, couple 3 years old maybe. 102 rentals over that time, and look at the revenue that it has made. Literally one third, one half of the rentals, and it's making as much or more money. And I've got another one that matches it as well. It, doing really well. Again, a lot less rentals, a lot more money. Uh, but it's work. You know, it takes two, three guys to get it done. So those kind of things you have to watch out for. Um, this is another thing that you can kind of look at and do. If you do attendance, I do an attendant fee. Uh, this is this is revenue that literally is going to pay employees. So um, it's a good way to bring, an extra money in is if you have an event that they need an attendant for, we charge an attendant fee. Um, you can do that and make money to pay your guys so that they can do well. This is our axe throw. It's fairly new. I've had it maybe a year and a half. Let's see. There it is. It's doing well. Um, you know, just getting into the indoor stuff. I've made my money back twice, over twice on it, so really, really good. Slip and slides. Our slip and slides do well. They're a cheap uh, version of the slide, so they don't cost me a lot. They don't cost the customers a lot, and I've made my money back a couple times on those. I've got a couple different ones, so um, you know, they're doing just about the same amount of rentals and they're generating, more than enough money. I have more bounces, and again, it's really just color is all the difference is on these. And again, they're doing the amount of money. These are a little older, and again, they're making the money. So I'm getting my investment back, and they're well beyond making tons of money for that. So and I again more castle bunts. The caution drops were some really good units. I I have taken these out of circulation because they've gotten old and they're not. But I want to show you these because these are lifespan units. I'm not renting these anymore. I spent about it was probably 4 grand on them. These are yeah, I don't know, 19 foot tall and they're 55 feet long or something like that. So they're that the unit. It's the water slide that comes down and out. It's a one piece. It's not a two piece. Um, I had two of them. Um, and again, I spent probably 4 or 5 grand on them each, and they've definitely made their money back. After you take the money out that I spent on them, they made 30 grand a piece. So good pieces. Um, good pieces, to kind of make the money for. Um, let me talk to you guys about concessions um, and concession supplies. Now, I sell concession supplies in 50 servings, and usually I buy them, and usually it's more than 50 servings, but I sell it as 50 servings. A carton of cotton candy stuff costs me probably $9 when I buy it, and I sell it for $25. Customers pay it. I have to add the bags or the cones, which is a couple more dollars. So I probably all in 12, $15 total on any of my concessions, and you know and they make the money. So um, again, I've sold 257, generated $5,000. I'm literally making twice the money that I'm spending on it. So um, yeah, concessions really kind of good. The machine is separate. So if I rent out the machine, it goes out $50. You know, again, a good add-on price, and literally, you guys know what you're spending on these. A good cotton candy machine will cost you between 500, $750, something like that. And this is the kind of money that you're going to make off of it. It's not the business that I'm in, and there are people that are in the business that are making a ton more money off of it than me. They push it a lot more than me. the whole 9 yards. And I get that. And you can do that. But it is also something that you want to add. I would not spend money on this to begin with. I would spend it on something that's going to generate, big money first, something that I can handle. If I have an extra 700, I'd put 700 with it and I'd buy a bounce house, or I would do whatever I had to do. I would not focus on a cotton candy machine first. It is not going to do you any good, especially when you can go, if you partner with a rental company that's close to you and rent a cotton candy machine from them, they may even cut you a deal so you can make a couple dollars off of it. You can still provide it to your customer, and there's no skin off your teeth. You don't have a maintenance fee. You don't have to worry about it breaking down. None of that stuff. It's you just return it to the rental company, you know, and that's how you do that. That's how you maintain that appearance of having all the equipment that they need, is that you rent it from someone else that has it until you're big enough to have it yourself. I want to show you guys a couple of things that I have bought that have not made me money. And again, the good thing about being in the rental business is once you have all your primary stuff and you start filling in with these other things, if they don't rent, it's really no skin other than the warehouse space. It's really no skin off your teeth because they're not like falling apart. Most of the stuff is that you have maintenance issues. It's because of use. So if you roll up this Angry Owl toss game and put it in your warehouse, I paid $99 for this. It's a little blow up game, where they throw balls through little holes that look like owls or something like that. I'm up. I've made my money back, but it's not renting. It's not something that, I would say you need to run out and get this because it's literally taken up where I have 10 games, and I did this because I have clients that need games. So they don't go out all the time, but I have them when I need them because I am at that level. Do not invest in these kind of things because you think it's going to make you better, because it's not. It's going to slow you down. Invest in the things that are going to make you money until you're big enough to where you need to get these things. Let me show you something else that has not made me money. Cash Cube is kind of middle. Uh, Again, it has made me money, but not something that I would invest a ton of money in because you can make much more money off of something else. It's something that I need, but it's something that a smaller guy would not need because you're literally not going to get the rentals off of it. I've had this unit for four years, so it's going out 8 times a year. Not something that you need to invest in. It's not going to make you the money so that you can grow. Let's look at some other stuff. Crazy Train. Okay, I have a trackless train. I've had it for 10 years. It's made 14 grand in 10 years and it's gone out 34 times. It is labor intensive. It is, the money side of it is a lot more. It's not something that I would invest in. You can make tons of money off of a trackless train if that's what you're focused on. But if you're trying to rent units, you don't have time to go sit in a train and drive kids around because you should be renting units and delivering units. So again, it's something that you're either going to have to focus on 100%, and this is the business that you're in, is the train business, and when I say the train business, I mean the business where you're literally staying with your equipment and you're going from event to event or festival to festival, and that's the money that you're going to make. I know people who do that side of the work, But you can't mix backyard with this and make money on both, because if you're doing one, you're not doing the other. If you're doing backyard rentals, you don't have time to go sit in a train. If you're sitting in a train, you don't have time to go do a bunch of backyard rentals. Pick your lane. Pick one. Don't do both. I rent it because I have tons of customers that it probably goes out a few times a year to the same customers over and over and over again. Um, but I don't get in a situation where I'm relying on that. High Striker's the same thing. I've had the High Striker for a ton of years. It's made its money back, but it's not something that I want to invest heavily into, because it's not something that is going to bring me the money back. Put your money where you're making money. Absolutely. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between an angry owl toss game and a football toss game. Football toss game goes out all the time. Every every school rents them, every festival rents them, tons of backyard party fills in with them. So you can make money off these. But again, how many people are interested in football as a game, as a toss, and how many people are interested in an owl as a toss or a game? You see what theming can do for you? Picking the right theme. You have a season for this. There's a football season. There's not an owl season. So watch your theming. It can bite you. Uh, let's see. I want to show you this one because you guys. This is my wife calls it the emoji bounce. It's the poop bounce. Now I bought it because I thought that every 10th grader on the planet, I mean every fifth grader on the planet, every 10-year-old would love this thing. A giant bounce that looks like a pile of poop. Look at what it has done. I have not made my money back on it, and I've had it for probably 5 years. Be careful. Be very, very careful. Again, it's not really damaging to me because it sits in my warehouse and it's clean and it's wrapped up and it's not being degraded or whatever. So it's going to last me probably 20 years, and it'll always be that novelty piece that can go out and we can make fun of and the whole nine yards. But it is not something that you should spend a whole lot of money on because it's not going to make you money. It is extremely themed to the point that you can't get a whole lot of use out of this on a good day. So be very, very careful. Be very, very careful when you pick those kind of things. Um, and the movie screen is another one. I'm not in the movie screen business. It's another movie. It's an event that you can do. It's made me money. Uh, but it's not something that I do. I mean, mine is backyard. I promise you. I don't do the big events or anything like that. Mine's a $300 setup. It's a screen and two speakers and a little projector. Nothing big, nothing to it. It's made its money back, but it's again something that's filling my warehouse. I could make a lot more money off of other stuff. So let me make sure there's nothing in here that I want to show you one last time. Um, I've had stuff that, yeah, let's start. This sumo suits is another one. Sumo suits is another. It looks great. It looks like something that you can make a ton of money off of. And literally, I've made probably 3, 4 times my money back off of the sumo suits. But they are also in my way every time I get into my shop. They're sitting there reminding me of something that I haven't made money off of. So you need to be very, very careful. Um, what you're putting your money into. and how it comes back. Um, so yeah, I mean there are things that make you tons of money, and there are things that you need to stay away from, or you need to at least wait until you're big enough that you can handle them. And those are the kind of things that are going to get you in a situation where you're doing well, and you're going to have um, the ability to branch out and make money with them through lots of events. If you don't have them, partner up with somebody that does have them, and you guys share them so everybody's happy. Um, if you're a little guy, focus on the things that are going to make you money. That's the way that you grow. Focusing on the things that make you money, not the things that you like. I do want to show you one. It may not even be in here anymore. Let's see. Um, no, there it is. Okay. This is my brainchild. I built this. I made this. It's a shooting range. Um, it's a shooting range that uses airsoft guns or BB guns or something like that. And I thought that it would be really cool for events, hunting events, or gun safety events, or skeet shooting events, or anything that the police department was doing. Maybe they could use it as a as a kind of a hook to bring kids in and teach gun safety and the whole nine yards. Uh, Super awesome piece, but you know what it doesn't do? It doesn't go well for schools. It doesn't go well for churches. It doesn't go well for any of those events. Nobody wants guns at their events. Um, and so it creates a situation where you don't you don't make the money off of it. Um, Probably the worst right there is I haven't made my money back, and it is I had a lot invested in it, both time and money and energy and everything. So um, that one kind of hurts. So yeah. Anyway, these are some numbers that you can think about, and some stuff that you can think about. It is not about what you do in a weekend. It is not about what you do in a year. It's not what you do in a season. There are reasons why things are happening. There are reasons why things are going in a certain direction. You need to be able to pivot and capitalize when those things happen, and get in a situation where you're making the amount of money that you need to make. We, again, hit it perfectly during COVID because we bought low prior to COVID with equipment because we were going to expand. And then when COVID hit and everyone was fearful, we immediately pivoted and said, listen, we're going to create a situation where you don't have to be exposed to anything, and your children can be safe and they can play at your house. We will disinfect. We have contactless contracts. So you don't even have to see us. You do everything online, and we send them pictures of us, spraying down the units and wiping everything down, and people were happy, and they rented because there was not a whole lot else they could do. So think about that kind of stuff. Think about what's going to make you money. Think about how something is going to make you money, and do not make something try to make you money that is not going to make you money, because I promise you it will not. Don't be don't get a shooting range. Don't get, something that is just not going to do it. If you're going to do those kind of things, that's the kind of business that you need to be in. You can't mix those into something that's not there. Um, don't be an angry owl. Don't be a cash cube or a sumo suit, because unless that's what you're doing, you're not going to make the money off of it. I hope these videos help you guys. If you would just do me one favor, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, tell your friends, share it. I do not believe in competition. I believe that we are here to help each other, and I believe that everyone in this business can make lots of money and do things, and most importantly, we can make children smile and make people happy. That's my goal. So yeah, do that and keep watching, and we'll see you next go around.